Hello everyone, it's Riej and welcome back to another video. So if you use a Sony camera like the Sony a7C II or any of the newer Sony cameras, this app can turn your smartphone into a camera monitor, meaning you don't have to spend money on expensive external monitors. The app is called Monitor Plus and it comes in a free version that works great if you just need a larger screen to check your framing with a few minor features. Or for a one-time payment of $18.99, you get a pro version that offers a whole lot of features that you'll find on premium external monitors. I'll also show you how with this app and an iPad or a Mac, you can have a second wireless monitor for a client or for when you need two external monitors. And yes, I know that Sony has a free monitor and control app that lets you wirelessly monitor some Sony cameras, but it only supports a handful of new Sony cameras. And unfortunately, neither the Sony a7C or the a7C II is supported, making Monitor Plus a great alternative. And even if your camera is supported by Sony's monitor and control app, I think you'll find Monitor Plus very useful as it offers a few other features like a stable wired connection and external recording that can be useful for social media. A question that you may have is which Sony cameras are supported and will it work with any smartphone? Well, the first one is easy to answer. Monitor Plus has a table of all the Sony cameras it supports on their website with all the main features that works with each camera. You can pause the video and see if your camera is supported, and I'll leave a link to this page down in the description. And if you scroll down, you'll also see some of the known limitations, mainly with older Sony cameras. When it comes to smartphones that it supports, I can confidently tell you that the iPhone 15 Pro is fully supported with no issues. And so I'm fairly certain that the iPhone 15 and 16 series will also be fully supported since they all have USB-C ports. And on Android, I'm also certain that most or all of the mainstream Android phones will be supported, but keep in mind that it requires Android 7 and above. It's more trial and error though from what I've seen online since they don't provide a list of smartphones that support it. So this is where you guys will have to let us know in the comments which device you tried it with and if it worked for you, and also if you had any issues. And for Lightning iPhone users, let me know down in the comments as well if it works. I assume it will with the correct cable or dongle. Alright, so Monitor Plus can connect to your camera wirelessly via Bluetooth if your camera supports it, or via USB-C cable. And in my opinion, the Bluetooth connection is just fine if you're in a pinch, but it's not as reliable as using the USB-C connection. Personally, I only use it wired as I've had the Bluetooth connection fail on me a couple of times, so I don't really recommend using it. Once connected, a select USB connect mode screen will appear on the camera screen. And from there you can select remote shoot or PC remote, as that's what allows you to control the camera remotely. Once that's selected, your phone will show a USB connection, then tap enter and that will take you to the live view screen. Another advantage of the USB connection is that there is zero lag, and with the data transfer rate being low, you don't need to spend money on a fast USB-C cable. A basic 480 megabyte per second USB-C cable, like the one that Apple ships with their iPhones, will work just fine. The one that I settled on is this one from Riej, the SC16, which was actually intended for Rode microphones, but it works great. And with it being very soft and flexible and the perfect length for my setup, it puts zero strain on the ports and it works like a charm. Alright, so now let's look at what you can do with Monitor Plus. At the top of the live view is your exposure, white balance and focus settings, and you can tap on each one of them to change them. And changing them is just as easy as tapping on the preset options or using the slider at the bottom. Alright, so this next one took me a while to figure out. You see in the feature list, it tells you that you can do touch tracking, but anytime I tapped on the screen, it changed the focus point instead, which was frustrating, until I figured out that you need to go into the menu and set the tap function to focus tracking plus auto exposure off. So with that on, if you tap on the screen, touch tracking will be engaged, which is a game changer because you can't do that even with expensive monitors. Moving on, at the top right corner, you'll see your camera battery level. But unfortunately, if you need to see your phone's battery level, you need to go into the menu or swipe down as usual, and it's not going to stop your recording or anything. Oh, on a side note, if you feel like your phone's battery is draining too fast, you can turn off USB power supply on your camera. Speaking of swiping, you can swipe up or down anywhere on the screen to get rid of all the settings if you want a clutter-free live view. And at the bottom of the screen, starting from the left, you'll have a histogram that comes in very handy when exposing your image. And next to it in the middle is the record button and the SD card icon, which is also where you can see how much time you have left to record. You probably might not have guessed it, but the only way to see and download the files from your SD card in the camera is by tapping on that SD card icon. Not a very intuitive design if you ask me, but now you know. And that's also where you'll be able to access the files that you've downloaded to your phone as well. I say download here because to view a video file on the SD card, it needs to first be downloaded to the app. But don't worry, the download is quite fast. But then if it's a large file, I'll say just view it on the camera screen. Alright, now let's quickly run through some of the features you get when you pay the $18.99 for the Pro version. Well, the Pro version unlocks waveforms, focus peaking, false color, zebra, guides, anamorphic discrete, display LUTs, an inspector view with waveform, vector scope and RGB histogram, a focus spooler, chroma key, an overlay function, which is actually pretty cool because you can upload your own guides to overlay them on the live view, or take a freeze frame to overlay it to make the perfect match cuts. And of course, you can also flip and rotate the screen when you need to, which comes in very handy if you're filming yourself. And all these features can be reordered, so you can put the ones that you use the most first and uncheck the ones that you know you're not going to touch. So in my opinion, the Pro version is pretty worth it. Alright, before you go, I want to quickly touch on photos. Obviously, this is not what this app was intended for, but you'll be happy to know that if you flip your camera into photo mode, the app will still work. And in fact, the best feature of it all is that you can use your phone as a backup and save your raw photos to both your SD card and your phone. If like my A7C II, your camera only has one SD card slot. That way, if your card fails, you'll have all your raw photos backed up in the Monitor Plus app. To set that app, head into the menu and scroll all the way down to camera and set still image save destination to phone plus camera. And then set still image transfer size to original. And while you're there, you might as well also set live view image quality to high. And there you have it. All your raw photos will be saved in the app where you can select them and export them to your camera roll. Oh, and all of that also works with a Bluetooth connection. But be warned, it's very unstable and tends to lose connection quite a lot. So adjust your expectations on using it as a wireless live view remote. The best way to use it is wired. Alright, so now on to the bonus feature I mentioned for iPhone users. When using the Monitor Plus app or any other monitoring or video app for that matter, either with a USB-C or wireless connection, you could swipe down into your control center and mirror your screen to a Mac or iPad logged into the same Apple ID and on the same Wi-Fi network, which allows you to have another display see exactly what the camera is seeing with almost zero lag. And with a USB-C connection, this is a high resolution image being sent wirelessly to another display. And Apple AirPlay is very stable, so you'll have zero connection issues. Go try it out for yourself. Oh, and you're welcome. Anyway, there you have it guys. This has been my in-depth walkthrough of the Monitor Plus app. Leave a pro in the comments and I'll give you a heart for staying all the way to the end. And while you're there, give the video a like to let YouTube know to show it to other people that might find value in it as well. And subscribe if you found value in it yourself. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, peace.